Hey everybody, what's up? This is my day 4 of the 90-day Bible challenge. Yeah, I had to make my day 3 and my day 4 on the same day because I got behind. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and get started because everything I needed to say before the video, I said it in day 3. I'm reading out of Proverbs 2. Um, it's the first New Living Translation, NLT, same as the other videos. Proverbs 2:16 through 22. And when I read this, it's pretty much about lust, um, and all that stuff. But I'll explain after I read, and hopefully you'll understand. Okay, we'll go ahead and start verse 16. It says, "Wisdom will save you from the immoral woman, from the seductive words of the promiscuous woman. She has abandoned her husband and ignores the covenant she made before God. Entering her house leads to death. It is the road to the grave. The man who visits her is doomed. He will never reach the paths of life. Follow the steps of good men instead, and stay on the paths of the righteous. For only the godly will live in the land, and those with integrity will remain in it. But the wicked will be removed from the land, and the treacherous will be uprooted." I'm going to go back up and go through all these verses because it might be a little bit hard to understand. Where it says, "Wisdom will save you from the immoral woman, from the seductive words of the promiscuous woman." Not only can women be seductive, but men can be too. So don't think I'm just saying that women are bad and all women do is seduce you and all this other stuff. No, men do the same thing. So girls, I mean, this goes for you too, and guys, it goes for you also. It goes for both. So don't think I'm just aiming towards one sex right now. But wisdom comes from fearing God, because God gives you the wisdom and the common sense to know when you're about to be led into something you don't need to be led into. That's why it says wisdom will save you from the immoral woman slash man. It don't say slash man, but I added that in there. Where it says she has abandoned her husband and ignores the covenant made before God. That goes along with guys too, or anybody. What I feel in my spirit right now is when you get saved, you're a Christian, okay? You make a covenant before God that you're going to serve Him. So once you give up that covenant for something of the world, then you've abandoned God. You've just left Him laying there, and you ignore the covenant and the promises you made to God. And then if you keep following in deeper and deeper, it says in verse 18, entering her house leads to death. It is the road to the grave. Sin is death. I mean, for the wages of sin is death. So you following in an immoral path, if it's lust, if it's drugs, whatever it is, it leads to death, because sin, the wages of sin is death. Later on, down in verse 19, the man who visits her is doomed. He will never reach the paths of life. And it goes on, verse 20 says, "Follow the steps of good men instead, and stay on the paths of righteous." Verse 21, "For only the godly will live in the land, and those with integrity will remain in it. But the wicked will be removed from the land, and the treacherous will be uprooted." What that's saying is, if you want to remain in God's will, then you got to stay on the righteous path. You got to stay seeking after God. You can't give up what God has already put you in. You can't let go of the promises you made to Him, because you will be punished. And if you just abandon God altogether, I mean, you're going to be, some people believe the once saved, always saved. I believe that you can be saved always. You can always be saved. But there's a fine line to where God will give you up to that. And you can debate, you can fight and argue over it, but that's not what this is about. I'm just saying, it plainly says, "For only the godly will live in the land, and those with integrity will remain in it." So that's saying to me, no sin can enter into heaven. So if you've been, it's just one of those debatable things, and I don't want to get into that. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. He's not going to let anybody who is against His will into heaven. He wants those that are 100%, 110% all in for him, not riding the fence, not one of those fake Christians on Wednesday or Sunday that only praise and worship God on Wednesday and Sunday. He wants somebody who's 7 days a week, 24/7, 365 days a year, on fire for Him. Yeah, we'll have our ups and downs, we'll have our battles, we'll have our mountains to climb, but guess what? He can move those mountains. He's a mountain mover. He can break down those strongholds that the devil puts up. I mean, it's easy. I mean, well, actually, he never said it was going to be easy. He never said the cross wouldn't be heavy, as that song the Crab Family sings. But seriously, I mean, don't fall for the lust. It's in the media, it's everywhere, it's on TV, it's even in kid shows nowadays. Lust is one of the worst addictions. I've been there. I've been addicted to pornography. I've been a sex addict, pretty much. I'm not afraid to admit it because, I mean, God's delivered me from it, so if you got a problem with it, I'm sorry, but it's in the past. It's not a path to take. Guys and girls, I mean, girls just as well as guys, they can get addicted to it. They can be caught in the trap, and it's really hard to get out. And somebody told me that there was a study done that sex and pornography and all that stuff, it's an addiction. And that addiction of sex and pornography is just as hard to break as an addiction to cocaine. So getting addicted to that, you might as well be on cocaine. And you don't want to do that to your body. And the cocaine, it'll kill you. Just like sin. Sin will kill you. Sin leads to death, for the wages of sin is death. I've said that 5 times in this video probably. And I can't stress that enough. Just take my word for it and don't go down that path. Yeah, girls, you might see a guy that's hot or so-called sexy or whatever, but guys, you're more than all that. You're what God says you are. You're not sexy. You're beautiful in God's eyes. And girls, if a guy ever calls you sexy and all this other stuff, you're way more than that. You're beautiful in God's eyes regardless of what you've ever been told. Sexy is a derogatory word, I think, or derogative, or whatever that word is, but that's not the point. I'm just saying that it's not right. It's lust. I mean, lust, it's not fun. And addiction, it's not fun. So, if this video makes sense to you, I'm glad, and if it don't, I'm sorry, but I just said what was coming out. I felt what God was telling me to say. But, like I said, this is my day 4, and I appreciate y'all watching these videos and subscribing. I really hope and pray that more people will start to do this. Thanks, guys.